Okay, folks, gonna have a little discussion today about something that kind of came up this week in our lives. We had a new baby come into the family, so the question became, how do we help the baby get a solar callus at the 13 North latitude? You can see it's a beautiful day here. So here's something I haven't talked too much about, but when I was swimming in the pool this morning, I decided, hey, this is the perfect opportunity to talk about this for young mothers and people, I would even say, have low redox, don't have a lot of melanin yet, and they're at the beginning of their journey. And this is what we call forest bathing. So most of you guys know I've really large kind of sundial deck around my house, and this is the beginning of one of the parts of it. But the really cool thing that's happening is the trees are beginning to connect. That's my tree from Hawaii and the tree from Costa Rica, and the trees that are underneath the deck, they're growing up over the top, because eventually I want to make a canopy over there. And the whole purpose of the canopy is so that you can do forest bathing. And what does forest bathing do? It dissipates a lot of the light above. Like if you look at where I'm at right now, it's 10:17. The sun is already, we're at a UV index, I think, of 8. And we do have a nice breeze today. There's not a lot of humidity because I'm at elevation. But the cool thing is you can see on the deck there that we have couches and stuff. So a young mother could put the baby on her naked chest and sit underneath the green leaf trees, and that would actually be another way to have a baby begin to get its solar callus. Because remember, if you read my Patreon blog on the solar callus, most of that is about adults and food and how you do it that way. But this is a way for you to be able to do it with you sitting on the deck, and you can do it pretty much at will. I mean, there's no reasons that you can't. I mean, honestly, you could do it for multiple hours a day. It would not be a big issue at all. And I think it's something that, we probably need to tell young mothers, young families. I also think it would be really good for people with EHS, with fibromyalgia. Anybody who's got a down regulation of melanin in their system for any reason. It's also something I've used with patients that come from bad magnetic pinned areas. If you haven't heard the podcast that I did on July 13 with Michelle Katz, I would suggest you listen to that, because her condition is a perfect condition where this would work. So it's something that's easy to do. The other reason I decided to do this live, because Chantel was in the pool with me, you can see the shadow of the tree, how big it is. That's this tree right here. And that tree obviously is in full bloom because we're in the summer here. But are you getting enough light to stimulate POMC in your skin when, say, your skin is atrophic because you haven't been doing the right things? The answer is yes. It actually can help you quite a bit. Some of you may say, hey, Jack, you're in the pool. Are you grounded? Yeah, my pool is grounded. I also have another unique part of this pool, is that it's built a certain way where it's completely grounded to the ground. You can see it's a little bit different. The water, I can't tell you, but temperature is really quite a bit cooler, especially than the pool that we have at Atami or the pool that we have in Costa del Sol. I'm actually thinking about changing both of those pools now to put a chiller in. But this one is also filled with deuterium depleted water, which is fed directly by the volcanoes. And for those of you who are not members, which I'm assuming most of you aren't, I just did a Q&A this month where the Bukele administration had us checking the water all over El Salvador. We're up to 512 sites. But the places where I thought primary water was located, I just finally got those back, and I told the people that were on that call what the level of deuterium was, and that's what's in this pool water right now. So it's pretty cool to be able to have a pool that's like that. Now, I understand that not everybody can have a pool like that. Obviously, it's a big deal, but it's something, if you can have it, instead of maybe building your house out, where it's all tricked out, maybe you spend a little bit more money on the outside to do something like this. And this idea that I had has been about 18 months in coming. Why? Because these two trees have always made me think that I could have a canopied area where I don't have to have any umbrellas on the deck, because umbrellas don't give you kind of what the issues really are in terms of UPEs and photons from the sun. But trees really do it well, and sitting under them is something that would be fine, especially like, say, if you're handicapped, you have a neurodegenerative disorder, you have somebody who's got Alzheimer's, you can have grandma or that person sit right out here under the tree to get, some of their solar therapy, especially if you're not close to a beach or you have a disability that precludes you from going to the beach, like ALS or something like that. So it's really a big benefit. And I think this is something that people could do in their backyards, in the United States, especially if you live in the southern part of the United States where you have a longer grower season. You can see I'm trying to do the same thing on this part of the deck over here. That tree's a monster, but you can see my little Hawaiian trees that are there. They haven't grown up enough yet, like that one. And I've got a Flor de Fuego here that was stressed last year when I put the deck in. But if you look at some of the little trees underneath here, those are also Flor de Fuegos, and I'm waiting to grow up here. So my whole goal is basically to create a tunnel of trees on this part of the deck. The back part of the deck, which I've shown you in videos before, which is back there, it has trees on it too, but there's areas there where it's wide open. And obviously, you may not do this, but on my roof right up there, that's all covered with grass. So it's pretty cool that you can go up there as well. At this time of the year, mid-July, the sun is so strong here, we really don't need to go out in full sun like we do in the wintertime, because we'll get UV indexes that are at the top of the chain right now. So it's kind of really important. And you can see we've cut some of these trees in the past just because they grow so fast here, but you can see they're beginning to cover this area here. We have bamboo next to every part of a bedroom here to actually do the same thing, because all the windows in my bedrooms open up so that you can actually sleep with the doors wide open at night, and then that way you'll wake up with the sun. So it's kind of pretty cool the way this works. So I just thought I would do this little live to let people know, that this could be a way for you to introduce solar callus training for little babies, moms that don't get their boobs enough in the sun, or any of your people in your family that are beginning to suffer from neurodegeneration. It's a nice way to do it. That way they won't get horrendous sunburns right off the bat. Unfortunately, like somebody like me, even though I have pretty fair skin, I can stay out for pretty long periods of time, even in this sun, and don't really struggle with it anymore. But it took me a while to get to that level. So that's the lesson for today. Hopefully you really enjoyed it. And then we go from there. All right? Enjoy your day. Get out. See how it goes. Share this information. Take care.